Hey everyone, it's the Angry Honey Badger, and we are taking a look at another build video today. We are playing Rengar in the top lane. He is a good top, along with being a good jungle as well, and also a good bottom kill lane. That's the new meta thing that I'm making up because I hate the current one. So, starting off, I like to start with boots and pots at level 1. I'm already going through my pots pretty quick because Jax does some sufficient damage early game, but I do have all 6 stacks here now, and he knows I does. And he's going to try to come into my bush with his dodge up so he can try to stun me because he knows we're probably going to get in a fight. He does it a little too soon, and I back off waiting for it to end. I'm going to be able to then initiate pretty quick using my savagery, which is my Q, and then being able to jump to him because of my passive being Unseen Predator. That is the reason why Rengar kind of excels in bot lane, top lane, and in the jungle. Being able to gank out of the bushes and jump out of them is very strong. About the only lane I would not suggest him to be in is the mid lane, because it's not really good for bush placement for you to use. So, what you want to do is control your bushes for the most part in the top lane, or in the jungle, or in the bottom lane. So, something I would suggest maybe is maybe a oracle, maybe, in case they ward those, in case they want to see you. But for the most part, as you can see, whenever I jump out of bushes, I go do some damage, and I try to get my stacks up, and all that fun stuff. So, we're going to go ahead and continue on with this build and talk about all that fun stuff. There I do more damage to Jax, because that's what you want to do. Gain dominance and show them that you're much better than them. So, that will be happening. Anyways, so last time I went back because I got that kill, I decided to get my boots to have a little bit more move speed on top of him so I'd be able to catch up to him and do more damage to him that way. I think I did send him back again because of all that fun stuff and all that damage I was doing to him. So, I'm ahead of him in lane right now, so that's always a good thing. I'll be able to do some damage to him. It is Jax, though, so I gotta be careful. He does do some sufficient damage as well. Jax is a pretty strong champion when played correctly. Here I'm gonna wait for him, though, because I think he thinks I went back or went down or went somewhere else. I'm gonna wait for him to come out a little bit, and then I'm gonna be able to use my ultimate and ghost, jump on top of him, slow him down, ignite him as well, do the damage I can. He did stun me, but he will die to that ignite. There's gonna be nothing he can do against that, so nothing too bad there. Got another kill. There I can see their jungler, which is their Rengar, came up top for a second. Now, they have jungle Rengar, and he does a good job on their team. I'll give him credit. He did a good job early game at being bottom, and he creates a heck of a problem for our team's support and our carry bottom lane. They also have a decent blitzcrank who doesn't seem to miss his arms hardly ever. So our bot lane has some trouble. Luckily, our top lane, with me in it, is having a pretty good start, so I'm going to be able to help that in team fights. There you can see Graves got a triple kill. So, yeah, their bottom lane is getting, you know, kind of fed for the most part, but we'll work on that. So, like I said, I did get those boots. I get whatever boots I need that are going to help me resist their team. I went with the Ninja Tabby boots early because that's going to help me negate some of that physical damage that I will be taking from their team. I also then do buy my tooth fairly early because a lot of people have a debate over whether his tooth is good or not, but let's look at it this way. It's really cheap to buy in theory, and it gives you 10 attack damage plus 2 attack damage per level. So, at level 10, you have 10 attack damage plus 2 per level, so 10 or 20 more. So you have 30 attack damage at level 10 from just that item. Plus you can get your stacks on that item, giving you the bonus stats, and that was only for 800 gold. So yes, it takes up an item slot, but as long as you're getting kills or assists with it, it's going to give you plenty of attack damage for a really cheap amount of gold. So I would always suggest getting it, and I get it fairly early so I can start stacking up my trophies quicker, and because I want the damage from it. It's good, as I've just explained. So buy his necklace, his bone necklace. Do it. Buy it. Get the trophies. It is really good to get. Alright, so while this has been going on, I've been talking. I sped this part of the game up a little bit more than normal just because not a lot's happening. I escape some weird fights. I die once. I get an assist. Blah, blah, blah. Kind of boring. The next item I do typically get with him, because usually I'd still be top, probably laning for a little bit. You will get a phage as your next item. You're going to get that health, and then you'll be able to slow them down, and you will be able to have a little bit more attack damage as well. It is a good item, and it will be going towards a Trinity Force. I will be going for the Trinity Force over the Frozen Mallet. The Frozen Mallet's a decent item as well. I know that it's good. You get a little more health, blah, 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 blah. But I build him more so as a Assassin Bursty character, less tanky bruiser. And he still is tanky-ish and bruiser-ish. Not really tanky, probably just a little bit more bruiser. But being able to be a burstier assassin and having your sheen as part of that Trinity Force is very helpful. especially when you are going for individual targets and kind of separating them from the team and getting rid of high priority targets as fast as you possibly can. That is what I do with Rengar, and that's a very good way to get like important targets just out of the picture. Here we're getting into a fight, and their Blitzcrank has not died really much, and he's kind of getting away. I'm going to use my ultimate, go invisible so they don't see me. I'm going to jump to him and get rid of him real quick. I'm going to turn around and go for their AD carry and get the other kill on him for the double kill. Their Rengar's going to jump to our Sona and kill her real quick, unfortunately, but he will die as well. Decent little team fight there for the most part. Jax is going to try to now stop us from taking this tower or do his best to defend. We're going to be pushing back and forth and doing some damage to him, though, and we'll have a little fun fight with him in a second, though. As you can see, the last time I did go back, I did pick up that Amplifying Tome because I am going to be building towards the Sheen as part of my Trinity, as part of my Trinity Force here. He is taking some damage from us. We're going to do a little bit more damage to him there. He's going to get locked down, and I took some damage from him too, and from the turret. We're going to get rid of this now, and he's going to make a mistake by staying around. Now, obviously, I can't jump to him, so I'm just going to slow him and ignite him, and that's going to be enough to kill him off. So, no problem there. I'm going to be on a killing spree. I'm going to go back and buy now since I have a handful of gold. I'm going to pick up that Sheen and start building my Zeal, which, as I stated, will be going towards that Trinity Force. Good first item on for Rengar. And then, like I said, make sure you have your Tooth so you can start getting all of your trophies for it. It's going to definitely help you out. I highly recommend that item. Now, I know a few people know that they've probably seen some AP Rengars, and AP Rengar is okay, but he's not as bursty or death-dealing, in my opinion, as the AD Rengar. AD Rengar, I mean, he can 2-hit some people, or 3-hit people. But AP Rengar, he's probably a little bit tankier, because he gets some of the more health items and tankier AP items, and his roar does hurt a little bit more, but I fought 1v1 Rengars that were more fed than me as AP Rengar, and you're able to kill them just because the attack damage that you have for your Q and for all of your other abilities are way better. Here, I'm going to kill their Rengar, as he went invisible and then came back, and then I'm going to try to get over here to their Graves and kill him as well, and then I'm going to pick up a couple assists on their Diana and on their Blitzcrank. So we're going to be able to ace them right there. A little bit of a sloppy team fight if you go back and watch that, but we kind of regrouped and got rid of the high priority targets for the most part after a little bit of a weird jump around fight. It's really interesting to be fighting against another Rengar because essentially a 5v5 fight can turn into a 4v4 because they just kind of disappear and then randomly appear. One thing I will say about Rengar is I do like playing him when there is a official tank on your team and you don't have to be the tankiest person in a fight. I do not really like initiating on a whole team with Rengar. It's not quite as fun. I like to use him a second later after the fights broke out to eliminate the high priority target because that's what he does best, and then he brawls pretty well too. But just that's kind of the style I like to play him, so it's nice having an Amumu in this game. For the most part, it's definitely going to be helpful. Alright, so I did pick up that Trinity Force, and then that last time I was back, I did pick up a Vampiric Scepter. That is going to be giving me some lifesteal, and I will be building that into my next item. Here I come up here looking for Jax. I thought he was going to retreat, so I start to use my ultimate. I find out that he actually is over here and ahead. He's actually going to come down, though, and I'm going to be able to jump to him right before my ult expires. Jump back to him because I jumped into him into the bush. Jumped back out of the bush and ignited him. He's going to die here from one more standard attack. Not much he could do against me there. Rengar in a solo 1v1 situation, he's probably going to win that 90% of the time as long as you're just as farmed as they are and they don't have crazy amounts of CC. He is pretty strong right now in my opinion. I would not be surprised if in the future they do nerf his passive a little bit. I think the jump needs to maybe have a little bit of a delay on it because you can keep jumping in and out of bushes, I mean, constantly. You can just keep pouncing around. If you're fighting in river by any of those weird amounts of bushes, you can just keep jumping around. You're almost impossible to target because they don't know where you're going. So it's something interesting that Riot might look at. So if they don't, then hey, Rengar is going to remain as a strong character for a while and probably a really strong jungler in the future. But like I said, I'm just playing him top right now because he's fun top as well. Alright, so I'm back at base because I died. I got greedy. which is going to happen as well. And I am picking up a BF sword, and with that Vampiric Scepter, I will be building that towards a Bloodthirster. It is just a good item to get. It's going to obviously help me with all of my attacks for the most part, doing plenty of damage, helping out my Q even more by doing more damage there. I think we're going to get into a bit of a brawl here. They do grab our Morgana. She is going to then get into him. I think our Mumu's going to move up and ult and get them right on the edge of it. I'm going to use my ultimate, jump over to the Graves, eliminate him as fast as I can, and then we kill the Diana and the Blitzcrank pretty quick. I didn't get any assists on them, but that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that Graves died. As you saw earlier, he did get kind of ahead for the most part, and there Jax's top, so we knew we kind of had an unfair advantage going into that fight. We were just a little bit ahead. I'm going to move over here into the side lane, just make sure I clear this out real quick before I go back and finish off my Bloodthirster on all of that fun stuff. So, as for my masteries that I go with Rengar, I typically take a 21-9-0 page. Got the 21 in the offense, picking up all the attack damage stuff that I can with a little bit more lifesteal, a little bit more crit chance, and all types of fun stuff like that. Then, in the 9, get a little bit more defense so I can withstand a little bit of damage and some of that other fun stuff. So, that's what's going on. Now here, I'm going to try to help save the tower. I'm going to jump into this fight, jump on top of Blitzcrank, do tons of damage to him. Sona's going to use the ult too for a little bit and lock them down. We're going to save the tower for the most part here. This is a 3v2 for the most part, and we're doing a pretty good job. I'm not really dying too much. I'm going to keep using everything I have to eliminate their Rengar right now. Going to kill him, turn around and immediately start to focus Diana. She's going to jump over to our Sona, but Ashe is going to get the kill on her. So that is going to happen right there. Not too bad considering if they would have fought that, they would have done okay. Here we're going to get in a fight with Graves because I thought we were going to be able to kill him. He's actually going to double kill us here. He does a good job of killing me right away. I think you kind of saw that coming. And he's going to be able to kill Ashe because our Ashe didn't have too much attack speed at the time and he had a bit more. But Graves is fed right now, so he's the problem. So we're going to get rid of him. So, alright. I'm back at base, and I do have that Bloodthirster now. I am building a little bit more magic resist, as you can see down below. That is going to help me with future items that we will be getting to. As for the runes that I typically take for Rengar, what I like to usually go with is either attack damage marks or armor penetration marks, just depending on which ones you have or the ones you favor. Attack damage marks are going to be good, in my opinion, for the most part, with Rengar. As for my seals, no matter what, whether or not I am in the jungle or in top lane, I do go with his armor seals. They're going to help you negate that physical damage from someone top or against all of the monsters in the jungle. And then as for glyphs, I go with magic resist glyphs. And then as for quintessences, I either take flat attack damage quintessences or move speed ones, depending on how much move speed I want to have in a fight. Here we're going to get into another little shuffle. I'm going to try to get over here real quick. Their Diana actually is also decently fed earlier in this game, so getting rid of her is also important. Here we do get to the Graves. You can see the damage that me and Ashe did to him quite quickly, which is going to help us. And our Mumu's doing a good job as well. Mumu is really strong right now. Everybody seems to be playing him in the jungle, at least this week, so something to pay attention to. As for something just to maybe state, in case you are playing against Rengar and you want some tips against how to fight him, just remember, if you're up against him in top lane, try to be in his bushes as much as he is. He's going to not use them quite as much, especially if you're in them. It's just something I've noticed. Also, ward them and make it be known that you know that they're warded, just because he's going to be able to do what he wants. If he has control of his bushes, he's going to be able to leap in and out of fights pretty quick and do what he wants. Here we're getting to a little shuffle with them. They are starting to all respawn from that last fight. Their Rengar goes invisible there. I think he's probably going to pounce back in on this fight, though, if I had to guess. But maybe not. Oh, yeah, no, we killed him. And then, yeah, our Mumu's going to be unstoppable. And now I think it would be a good time to retreat for the most part after we get this inhib. Don't forget that you can activate your Q on turrets and on inhibitors. You do tons of damage, and it is going to be proccing that Sheen. So you can see that hit I did on it was quite massive. Here we're going to come down and try to take this dragon real quick, because that's going to be nice and dandy for the most part. What else should we mention about Rengar? Ooh, keep bushes warded. I know I just said that, but keep them warded all over the map. He is really fun. In case your team is kind of ahead and you guys are 4v5ing him all right, he can just go run around and literally just go pick off solo targets, trying to clear minion waves. so fast. You got to be really, really careful with where he's at and be aware to call Mia's on Rengar, because once he hits level 6, I've been known to, not so much this game because I ended the lane up there so fast, but just go down mid and just use your invisible stealth. Just jump into whoever their mid is and kill them really quick. But pretty much this game's going to end. As you can see, I got the Hexy Drinker. I'm starting to build a Maw, and I'll put the rest of the build in the description that I usually get. Here we're going to jump in and just annihilate them. You can see the damage from having that much attack damage and still being, I mean, not super tanky, but having some extra resists is kind of nice. And they're going to go ahead and surrender here, but doing plenty of damage with your Q. Try out Rengar. He's pretty strong right now, especially after that last buff. I'm not exactly sure why they gave it to him, but Rengar's pretty fun. Give him a shot in the jungle, give him a shot at top. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. But other than that, I'll just see all of you in the next build video.